What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and we've all kind of long suspected that the internet's encyclopedia, better known as Wikipedia, was biased. We see, obviously, the trolling is always funny when people get in there and submit edits like we saw with the G4 TV stuff, but what's not funny is Wikipedia is often cited as an inarguable truth as a source for information, and it really isn't. Well, I shouldn't say that. There are many things on there that really don't have a lot of room for kind of political shenanigans, but what we saw in this latest video with Steven Crowder is some shocking political bias that even the creator of the platform, or the creator of Wikipedia, has pointed out in the past couple of months. Have you installed a VPN yet? Well, this channel's sponsor, Private Internet Access, has a deal expiring in just a few days. Check this out. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Private Internet Access. Hey, October is Cybersecurity Month, and they've got an amazing offer for you. It's 2021. If you don't have a VPN yet, there are several reasons why you'll want to sign up today. One, you can browse anonymously. Keep your browsing habits to yourself. You can keep your data away from big tech so that they can't resell it. And you can access region-locked content so you can open up a whole new catalog of online content to enjoy, whether it's anime or movies that might not be available in your area. You can get at it using a VPN. And the VPN I use on my phone, my tablets, my PCs, and my laptops is Private Internet Access, and they've given an amazing offer. It's just $1.98 a month with 4 months free with a 3-year subscription. If you haven't signed up today, use my link in the description or pinned comment down below to get Private Internet Access today. Make sure you pick it up after the video. Now, did Steven Crowder just expose Wikipedia's left-wing bias? Watch his test and judge for yourself. We'll talk about some of that stuff, but it's not just Steven Crowder. It's the co-founder, Larry Sanger, has blasted the site for left-wing media bias and even called it propaganda. This back in just July of this year, 7 months ago. Wikipedia co-founder Larry Sanger continued his criticism this week of the online encyclopedia that he helped create, citing the page on President Biden as an example of leftist bias. Quote, "You can trust it to give a reliably establishment point of view on pretty much everything. Can you trust it to always give you the truth? Well, that depends what you think the truth is," Sanger said on Wednesday during an interview on Lockdown TV. Sanger feels Wikipedia has changed considerably since he founded it alongside Jimmy Wales in 2001 and has been a critic for more than a decade. He said the site no longer is committed to neutrality and doesn't feature different points of view. Wikipedia is known now by everyone to have a lot of influence in the world, so there's a very big, nasty, complex game being played behind the scenes to make the articles say what somebody wants them to say, Sanger said, adding the site has a liberal bias. The Biden article, if you look at it, has very little by the way of the concerns that Republicans have about him, Sanger said. So if you want to have anything remotely resembling the Republican point of view of Biden, you're not getting it from Wikipedia. Sanger, who left the site back in 2002, pointed to a short paragraph about concerns related to Biden and the Ukraine on a lengthy Wikipedia entry. Quote, "What little can be found is extremely biased and reads like a defense counsel's brief, really," Sanger said. Wikipedia did not immediately respond to any kind of request for comment. By the way, I talked about, I know there's inertia with everyone that likes to use Discord. I don't like to use Discord because they're an SJW company that deploys censorship. So I use Guilded. Yes, I know it's a different app, but it's better. And I have a community there. Right here. If you know how to use Discord, you know how to use Guilded. I have voice chat, text chat. You can check all my latest discount codes. You can go through various rooms. There's all sorts of rooms about coding and drama, wholesome stuff, server suggestions, voice chats, totally free and all for you. I have moderators and admins in there to help take care of any possible issues. So If you go to my link tree in my description, if you click on that, there'll be a link to my Guilded server. Feel free to join it. I would love to have you in there. Now, Wikipedia's political science coverage is biased. I tried to fix it. With tens of thousands of articles on the subject, individual efforts can only go so far unless others join in. This is on February of 2021. On Wikipedia's 20th birthday, the online encyclopedia was widely praised for success spreading reliable information about political events. But while Wikipedia has developed an impressive record on political and ideological neutrality, it has serious bias in coverage. From the gender gap in its biographies of scientists to its disproportionate focus on politicians from wealthy countries, Wikipedia's coverage of people is particularly skewed, and these biases are rampant on the pages that people visit to understand political events. Steven Crowder's latest clip takes a deep dive into the left-wing bias of Wikipedia, the world's most crowdsourced encyclopedia. While Wikipedia has an article on virtually everything under the sun, Steven Crowder, like many other conservatives, have long suspected that it shields readers from the true set of facts, hiding ones that run contrary to narrative on key social issues. Rather than speculate, Crowder devised a simple hypothesis and test aiming to see which edits Wikipedia allows on certain issues and which ones they reject. Crowder took the time to edit articles with factual statements and unbiased sources. He then waited for Wikipedia's response, even tallying up whether, quote, truth or Wikipedia won out on the day. His latest episode of Louder with Crowder claims to prove that Wikipedia is biased. The results seem to show that truth does not always win out on Wikipedia. Crowder lumped Wikipedia in with big tech, claiming, as it turns out, and this should come as no surprise to anyone who knows a little bit about how big tech operates, it's full of bias. Time after time, article after article, we decided to go in and add, edit, or clarify information with own account. He added, we didn't go in and say anything outlandish. Our team cited sources, provided verifiable information, or simply attempted to remove overtly biased opinions, in some cases purely personal ones, and Wikipedia did not approve. Crowder's team said they made edits based on what they thought would comply with Wikipedia's neutrality test, adding that edits avoided opinion, unreliable sources, or sketchy data. Still, Wikipedia shot down their edits every time. On entries regarding child trans therapy, the Texas heartbeat law, and even data regarding anti-Asian history, Wikipedia editors appear to have denied all of Crowder's edits, allowing only one side of the argument to come to fruition. If there's anything left-wing tech giants don't approve of, they're facts, objective truth, anything that doesn't purposely toe the party line, Crowder claimed. The reasoning providing for negating our edits was ignorant, convoluted, and sometimes completely non-existent. The left need not have good reasons to silence opposing views, and if they have any reasons at all, they don't need to explain themselves to you. For example, Crowder was left wondering why Thomas Sowell, a world-renowned economist, was not a reliable source according to Wikipedia. In one entry about minimum wage, Crowder noted that the article was extremely biased in face of a liberal persuasion of Paul Krugman. The New York Times economist was listed as an expert, something that Crowder said was not a problem in and of itself. The problem is, according to Crowder, was the column relied solely on Krugman's point of view to craft the, quote, truth about minimum wage, which presented the view from only one side of the aisle. So in order to make it neutral and balanced, Kruger and his colleagues added a quote from Hoover Institute fellow and conservative Sowell. The quote said, "Unfortunately, the real minimum wage is always zero, regardless of the laws and what the wage that many workers receive in the wake of creation or escalation of a government-mandated minimum wage because they lose their jobs or fail to find jobs when they enter the workforce. Making it illegal to pay less than a given amount does not make a worker's productivity worth that amount. And if it is not, that worker is unlikely to be employed." It would be hard to dispute the idea that there's a more qualified economist in the world today than Thomas Sowell. He's certainly up there, and all his peers respect him, and he's done a lot of work on the minimum wage issue, Crowder said. Yet, despite his qualifications, the Sowell quote was removed within a day because, according to Wikipedia's editors, the source was unreliable? What? I mean, they did some kind of spicy stuff, but, you know, the video, which I recommend watching, you know, they talk about, you know, Larry Sanger, the co-founder, they talk about some interesting facts about the battles that Asians have to face. It's really a great bit of investigative reporting. Yeah, I kind of knew that Wikipedia was untrustworthy and garbage, but you can see at one point it's 5-0 in favor of Wikipedia, and the truth has 0. So don't rely on Wikipedia, or at least 9-0 at this point. Jesus. So, if you're going to use Wikipedia, understand exactly what you're doing. Make sure, if you get a chance, if you're looking for people to chat to or meet or hang out with, check out the Gilded. We got a lot of stuff going on there. I told them I'm going to push hard today to get people over here. I know there's that inertia of already using Discord, but Gilded, while owned by Roblox of all people, seems to be much more tolerant of different political opinions. And so that's the app I want to support. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you pick up private internet access today. We'll talk to you again real soon.